love to be out in nature. Look where I'm at. I'm in the purple zone. Check this out. I got my hibiscus. About to make my jewelry. Oh, let me clean the lens. You know, I keep my life simple, as you can see. So right here we got 20 gauge and 16 gauge. I selected some crystals out of this batch of crystals that I'm going to use to make rings. These are the tools that you definitely want to use. Is man, I'm looking for my other green ones, but okay. This to cut the wire. This, this is great for twisting the wire. All right. Um, this right here. Make designs with the tip. All right. So, and if you're going to be making rings, you want to have one of these ring tools. When I first started, I just used like a makeup brush handle. You know, a friend of mine, she had like a makeup brush. So it was like a brush on this end, and it was pointy, and I was just making a whole bunch of rings with it for a long time before I even bought one of these. So sometimes you have the tools right in front of you, and you don't even know it. I mean, let's say you don't have crystals. Well, you could go find rocks in the ocean, or the beach, or even at parks, and you could just work with rocks like that. But or you could go to different stores like Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They have crystals, or find your local crystal dealer, crystal jewelry store. All right. So, all right. So, getting back to making a ring. Now, find you some 16 gauge. The places I usually get 16 gauge. Once again, shout out to Michael's. You know, they have the inventory. Copper's been It's a shortage on copper. If you go to different stores like Lowe's and Home Depot, they won't even let you touch a roll of copper. They got it locked up in a cage, and the cost is going up more and more every day. So sometimes you can find copper inside of, like, if somebody, a contractor, right? He's changing a lady's kitchen, whatever. I had a friend gave me a whole bunch of copper from some construction work he was doing, some contract work. So if you know any contractors, people that build houses, fix houses, those kind of people, they sometimes throw out copper, and they have like usually 16 gauge, usually it's 12 gauge and 14 gauge. Let me show you what 14 gauge looks like now. We're talking about wire and making copper crystal jewelry, copper wrap jewelry. This is 14 gauge. This is the type of wire that's in your house right now. That's got your phone charging up. All right, or your computer, got your lights on, all that. 14 gauge. So these are the gauges that I usually work with: 14, 12, 20, 22, 10, 8 is what I'm looking for. I haven't really got to use 10 or 8. This right here is 12 gauge. This, I believe, is 14 gauge. This is two 12 gauges twisted. And usually my rings, this is made with 16 gauge, which is this 16 gauge, along with intermingled with 20 gauge. All right, so 16 and 20 is what I'm working with right now. Now, I'm choosing a crystal to design. I might just do this one right here. All right, so this is like a purple ring. Let me see how big it is. It's gonna be for big. It's a manly type ring. Look at that. Kind of big for a woman's finger, but shoot. Not all women buy, not all just women buy crystal jewelry. Men buy crystal jewelry as well. I have a lot of customers that are men. They buy for the ladies themselves. All right. Shout out to all my customers out there. I want to thank y'all for supporting all these years, buying my bracelets, buying my rings, buying my necklaces. One of my customers asked if I could do a training video on how to make jewelry. Actually, so actually, no, she wanted an actual class, a whole class. Like, can you do a class on how to make jewelry? It's like, uh, one day you'll see. So I decided to do it today because people be asking, and I've taught friends, family, different people over the years. And when I say years, I've only been doing jewelry for about 2 years. I just started this like about 2 years now, so roughly. And I learned from just watching this gentleman rap quartz. He was rapping. It was actually a citrine, because citrine is a form of quartz. Let me show you my citrine. The type of citrine that he had rapped for me was, it's not this one, but it was like a yellow in it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm paying him, so should be able to watch my my service get done. He kind of was like, yo, what you looking at? Why you standing there looking at me? I'm like, I'm paying you to design my jewelry. What? It was funny. So he's like, nah, go over there. But by the time he told me to go over there, I already kind of picked up what he did, and this is why apprentice learns so much quicker than, say, just someone who goes inside of, say, a classroom and is reading like a textbook. I'm not putting down reading, but sometimes you pick up things faster when you see it done. So I don't really go by a particular measurement when I make my ring. I don't just take out the tape measure and be like, but I'll do it for the sake of this video because I kind of go by my intuition. I go by my instincts. But okay, so first for the first chop, why we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it without this tape measure, and I'm gonna do it as I usually do it, which is I just look at it and I'm like, okay, this is probably the average lengths are like this, and I just kind of do it by eye, right? Now, just for sake of video, for those who are watching, you want to be precise as to what measurement I did. Let's measure it. Okay, so get your tape measure or your rule out. This is 21. Okay, that's a 3. Hmm. I do work in threes. Hmm. I want to tell you a secret to making jewelry, crystal copper wrap jewelry, the way I've been doing it. Work with threes, sixes, and nines. Let me give you a reason. Okay, this right here, 6 spirals. One, two, three, four, five, six. Then one, two, three, four, five, six. I kind of, when I designed it, designs look so much more harmonious when they're done according to threes or sixes or nines. This is a 3 because it's 21 inches. Hmm. So I would say stay within sacred geometry when you're designing. That's a whole deep whew, secret of, that's something that the universe kind of taught me. I didn't learn that from no one. I didn't read that in a book, but you'll kind of like get certain intuitions as you move along. Just start somewhere, and you'll get point A and B and C and D as you start with A and B first. You'll get the C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. But you won't get the Q, R, S, T, U, V if you don't start with the A, B, C. All right. So grab you some of these. This tool. It comes usually in different colors, sometimes purple, and you just squeeze, or you can start. Yeah, it's the same type of tool, and you just flatten that out, right? So you wanna get it like uh like that. Okay, so once you have it like that, then you could do the rest with your hand, or you could use the pliers to line it up. But you pretty much want to have it parallel to each other, right? So once you have it parallel, oh man, I slid that up. right? You grab your tool, and like I said, you could use all types of things, a paintbrush, a makeup brush, whatever. If you just look around in your house, you'll find something. All right, now anything that has something around, so you could get a mop stick now. Mop might be too big, but yeah, and just go around like that, right? So I usually go around twice, and I hold it around this size. If you could look at what that size is. So that's like around, what does this say? 7. No, not 7. 12. Around 13. Between 13 and 12. I'm sorry, it's not as clear out here, but okay. So you wrap it like kind of like twice. So when you have this at the bottom of the ring, right? The bottom of the ring looks like, see, because this is an adjustable part. This is the top of the ring, right? Bottom of the ring, top of the ring. Okay. So now, once you had it on there, once you got it to that point, what you could do is you take these two wires, so you got two wires hanging out, right? And you loop them. So keep it on a tool when you're doing this, because to do this with your hands, bare hands, is tough. So when you have this tool, you can actually, swing making tool, you can actually, it actually holds it for you better, right? So boom, 6. Look, y'all gonna be seeing a lot of 6s and 9s through this whole design. Did y'all see that? That's a 6 or a 9. Uh-huh. Didn't I tell you about those 6s and 9s? Mm. So yeah, I usually like to sit out in nature and design and be in a sacred space. This is a sacred space for me because one, I'm here, just me, and nature, spirit, and birds and trees. And I'm thankful for this purple tree right here. It's shedding right now. The flowers, so they're falling as I'm designing this. Flowers falling all around me. So you can check this out. You might see one. See, let's see if we'll catch one fall. This tree, this is beautiful, ain't it? It's the crown chakra, purple crown chakra tree. So, ain't that something? I'm over here designing with a purple stone. Look, a flower just fell right here. It just fell right there in front of me. I don't know if y'all saw it go past my face. Let me move the camera back so y'all might see more. There's a lot more coming down. Oh yeah, I saw that one. It just dropped. So look at that nature. Look, I'm not even minding it. Look, I'm getting photo bombed by nature right now. Video bomb. I got these flower bombs coming down out the sky. All right, so once again, we're working with purple crystals under this purple tree, drinking some purple hibiscus. Now that's wow right there. So yeah, y'all, I'm sitting out here in nature. Um, it's, so one of the things when you're designing jewelry is that you want to be in a sacred space. You don't want to be around a bunch of noise, a bunch of confusion, a bunch of nonsense. You want to be in a sacred space. All right. So once again, 9, 6. I just moved my location closer to the trunk of the tree so that y'all can see. Maybe more entertaining for y'all to see flowers falling down. All right, so you got your 6. Boom. Now, check what, can you guess what we're about to do after this? Think numbers. We're gonna go, boom. What does that look like? An 8, right? Or an infinity loop, because you got a loop here and a loop there. I tell y'all, yo, it's just all within the design is a lot of sacred geometry. I've been noticing this as I kind of just been doing it on me just now, and I've been doing this for a couple years now. Sometimes you don't even realize it, but you're working within sacred geometry within than your daily activities. How many of y'all wake up at 6? Go to sleep, getting ready for bed at 9. See? All right, here we go. So you twist these two around like that. So I don't know if you caught that step, but once you make that 8, like I was saying, then you loop one wire around this side, and then loop this wire. I'm sorry, I was talking while I was doing it, but see this wire, boom, and then you come back down again. I usually do it 3 times because 3, like I said, once again, is sacred geometry. So you can't go wrong, and it looks great when you do it that way. It's like, look, let me show you. Watch. 3, and it holds tighter. You know, there's a saying in threefold Bible scripture. Threefold cord is not easily broken. Threefold cord. When you think of 3 Trinity, you think of 3 braids are made with 3, because this is a lot of basically braiding. That's what's happening. So you see that 3? 1, 2, 3. You catch it? So I wrapped it. Where's it at? Okay, here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you squeeze it together. Bow. So that's one side. Do the same thing on the other side. 3 times. But sometimes rather than doing that right away, what I'll do is I'll start working with my crystal. So grab whatever crystal you're gonna work on, put it on the top, look at the design, notice how it looks, see if you like it. I usually like to have copper pointing out at the bottom and copper pointing out at the top, right? Boom. To me, it's the bottom and the top are interchangeable, so just you can wear the ring this way or this way. It's not like there's a limit on that. Okay, so now grab your 20 gauge, and you could get any color. I usually, don't be fooled when you go buy these from Michael's. Don't get the one that says aluminum. Pay attention to the label. When I first started, I slipped up and was getting wire. It looks copper, but it's fake. So it's aluminum with copper paint or something, and the paint peels after time, and it just looks, oh, dude. Huh. Anyway, get real copper, pure. Cut about this amount. But let me tell you what length this is. I say 13, about 13 inches. All right. Actually, it could have been longer, but all right. Here we go. So, because it's a bigger stone, but we'll be all right. I usually do this just off the cuff, like intuition once again. Now wrap it once, like that. Okay. So we got. So once you get it like that, then at the bottom you could twist it. Once again, that's that infinite or figure 8 situation going on at the bottom. The infinity loop. Just think of it like that. Do the infinity twist. Wow. Tighten it, right? Once you have it like that, then the crystal's tight, because the whole thing, the whole idea is I want this to hold. I don't want the copper to fall out while I'm designing. So now that it's holding, take one wire, slip it through one of the loops. Like I said, we got the infinity loop going on right there on one side of the infinity loop, and on the other side of the infinity loop, or the figure eight. You see that? So one is going through one side. It's like you're hitting both holes. Like, baby, take that, take that. Oh, okay. So, boom. So now, hold on for a sec. Oh, I twisted it too hard. That's one thing you gotta pay attention to. Is that sometimes the wire will snap. So the wire snapped on me. Don't ask me why. It just happens like that sometimes. I get a little too excited with my twisting too hard, because it is 20 gauge, so you don't want to twist it too hard. So you just want to put it on just enough just to hold it, because once you start wrapping it and putting all these, yeah, so there you go, just enough. You don't have to twist it all the way around. You could do like half, or say 3/4 type, like that. And you could make you could do it like this, right? Just so that the twister don't pop. The wire don't pop. The wire popped on me the last one, so that's why I have to start over. Boom, hit the bottom of the figure eight and the top of the figure eight, the bottom of the infinity loop and top of the infinity loop. Boom. So now we're finally seeing a ring form. So once that's, it's coming loose a little, but I'm gonna twist it. What you could do to hold your crystal in a bit more is at the top, just take one of these green pliers like this, and it has a head looking like that, and you just twist it right here, like that. Okay. So you make like a Z, or consider it like a lightning bolt. All right. Now you take your 20 gauge, loop it in through the top of the infinity loop or the bottom, whichever perspective you want to call it. So do it about 3 times. Remember I told you that 3, 6, 9. This is where pliers could come in handy. Try to do as much with your fingers as you can, but then when you come to a limitation, then you grab your tools. That's my kind of like, because I don't know, I just feel like it's more organic when you're doing it with your fingers than when you're doing it with tools. But then I just feel that way. But that's a whole nother. It's like you're putting your energy in it basically more, because your fingers actually release powerful energy, and your intentions are being placed inside of the crystal and inside the copper as you're designing it. And you could actually say what it is that you want the crystal to do while you're designing it. So this is a crown chakra healing ring. Thank you, Amethyst, for healing the crown chakra, opening up the crown chakra. Okay, so there you go. I got my loop around 3 times. So remember I said you want to loop it 3 times. There you go. See? 3. 1, 2, 3. It's tiny, but all right. So once it's wrapped around 3 times, you connect it on the other end. So you go from the top of the infinity loop to the bottom with the same wire. So you want to go across the top, right? Grab your tool, pull out the wire through the loop. Make sure it's straight through. Loop it again one more time. One more time. Boom. So now you got it held on both ends. All right. So it's on the top and the bottom. Now you can usually flatten out those two ends with your pliers. You want the wires to be as close to each other as possible. Like, you don't want them all sloppy. You want it to be flush. I don't know if y'all can see that, but okay. Now, there's no rule to this. Like, as far as the 369, you could go along with your own designing, but that's just kind of how I've been doing it when it comes to making jewelry. Rings and necklaces, and bracelets. All right. So I was just putting the other side on like that. And to hold it once again, you can just basically twist it. Have y'all been seeing any flowers fall as I've been working? Yeah. Let me take a sip. Let me take a little break. Coffee break. Post any questions in the comments. All right. So I'm gonna move through this. I'm gonna move faster. I've been moving slow because I want you guys to catch it. But all right. So now that it's looking like a spider, right? That's what I got. It's looking like so far. It's looking like a ring, right? You test it out. Put it on your finger or put it on your tool. It's already looking like a ring. And it works as a ring. It'll be a spider ring, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man. From the neighborhood spider. Nah, I ain't gonna do that to y'all. Put up your mojo. That would be actually a cool design. Now that I'm thinking about it. Spirals coming out each end. Wow. Look at that. Just from playing around with y'all, just a design hit me in the head. I love it. Okay. So you just keep pulling the wires across the top and you try to find locations where where the design actually looks like a ring. So sometimes I'll put the ring on, to kind of get a feel of what the ring is doing and how I could design it, right? Wow. Don't get cut in the face with that. You could position it how you want it while it's on your hand. If you like, you could tighten it up. Like this. See, this is what makes it adjustable. See that? You grab that U-shaped part, make it tighter, you know? So, and mind you, the wires aren't so tight. They're kind of snug, but as I move along, I tighten them up. I tighten them up. I tighten them up as I go. Because you don't want it to be too locked in, because if you lock into it, it's harder to be adjusted if you make the wires too tight. So they're kind of like snug, and they're tight, but not like super tight. They're just tight enough to have like a design right now. Because the more and more I lock in a design, then I go back around and I do things like twist, twist, tighten it, put the designs in like that. So for example, right here, you could go, all right? So that's how I actually As I move along, once I'm secure about, okay, yeah, I like the way that's sitting, I like the way that looks on the finger, let me tighten that up. You know what I'm saying? All right. So now you just continue going around and like I say, placing this 20 gauge at locations where it looks like it'll work. Like the design looks pretty. It looks like it's in harmony. You know, that kind of stuff. So I like working with raw stones. I like working with raw crystals because it just feels so much more organic, more closer to nature and the earth. Every time man tampers with something like when they polish stones, it's like to me it feels like they kind of take away the energy of the crystal in a way. But that's just my opinion. I like it raw. Ooh baby, I like it raw. Ooh baby, I like it raw. You kind of gotta have like a sensual mind when you're a designer, because being a creator is actually you working from your feminine side of you. And as we know, feminine women are very sensual, just beings, let off a lot of electricity and magnetism. So when you design it, you want it to be magnetized, right? That's another concept. And when you're making jewelry, that's why they say when you're designing, you should actually harness your sexual energy while you're doing it. Like you're using your sexual energy, basically, you know, because it's coming from your kundalini, down at the bottom of your spine, right there, your behind, your anus area. Ladies, y'all do your kegels. Dudes, we gotta do our kegels too. That's to help the prostate, because that's where a lot of your chi energy is stored, and that's where when you squeeze it, it releases it. So I do a lot of those type of exercises when I'm doing my qigong. I add kegels within that workout, or if I'm doing yoga. So what I'm speaking on is actually how your physical health has a lot to do with your ability to create and design. So you definitely want to make sure that you're in a healthy state of mind, a healthy state of being while you're doing things like this. So that's what it's looking like right now. Because if you're not in a healthy place mentally, physically, how can you service people properly? It's like that everywhere. It could be from serving food in a restaurant to cutting somebody's hair as a barber, a beautician. You want to be in the right place physically and mentally so that you can service your properly. All right. So that's why I love to be outdoors when I'm designing. For one, I'm breathing in fresh air, right? There's really no cars over here. No, there's not much noise pollution like traffic, you know, trucks and sirens, and what I hear is a lot of birds and things of that nature, and I hear the wind. So, but if you're in an urban setting, put on some headphones and zone out. And because I'm from New York City, where shoot, I grew up listening, hearing a bunch of sirens and cars and trucks and all that. You know, I grew up right on 147 in the Conduit, South Jamaica, Queens, in the building. Shout out to my peoples in Jamaica, Queens. You know, that's my hood. So it's real noisy around there. But find yourself a park, get in a real holy space when you're designing. You don't want too many distractions because your mind got to be focused. You don't want to mess the ring up. somebody coming and interfering with what you're doing. Ooh, want to be in your business, start having a conversation with you, and then you lose focus. I'm able to design while I talk. I'll literally be out. I'm to the point where people come up to my table wherever I'm at. It don't matter. I'm in the street, selling somewhere, by a mall, wherever, right? Park, got my crystal table. People, somebody stop by, they talking. So while they're talking to me, I'm working, right, having a conversation, and I'm at the point where I could focus, I could multitask. But when you first starting out, you want to have your mind in the right place, so you want to really be focused in what you're doing. All right. Um, Losing track a little bit because I'm talking so much. See, that's just a prime example. I don't really do this often. I don't be on video like this teaching. This is like a first timer. All right. But yeah, once you get your 3, 6, 9s, then you can start cutting, right? So because this is a, see this wire right here, it already did its 3 loops, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna now cut it. But when I cut it, I'm cutting it in a position where it's actually going back up into the bottom of the ring to the top, because I don't want the wire to cut the person's finger, right? So you have to design it like that way. You press it down, and once it's snug and it's looping back up, right before it kind of loops back up, you snip it. Okay, so at the bottom, it's snug. Boom, grab these, chop. That's the other thing. When you cutting these, you be careful because you don't want people around you and they popping in your eye. If somebody was in front of me just now, that wire, I don't know if y'all saw it pop that way. So it actually can turn into a weapon, believe it or not. Not that you want to use jewelry to attack somebody with a weapon, but I'm just saying it could hurt somebody's eye, but bust them in the eye. Okay, so the sun's coming up, and if you look again, I got that. It's sort of like an infinity loop, bow on each end, an 8 kind of loop. You see that? So I told you all throughout the design, you're gonna see a lot of 3s and 6s and 9s. So look, 3, 1, 2, 3. See these 3 lines? Those 3 wires it's like it gives it a form of completion to me. Like, okay, and then I snug. Y'all see that? And because it's a raw crystal, I love raw crystals. Like I said, and just find areas where you could just, like I say, tighten the ring on as you're moving along. So this design is pretty much done. You don't want to overdo it, so I'm probably going to loop it over with this wire maybe one more time. Trying to figure this out. Then I'll have to do another. Usually I don't do too much. If I feel like it's strong enough and I don't think the wire is going to break anything, and the stone is really snug in there, less is best, they say, right? So I'm gonna just leave it like that for now, because I want to finish up this video. This has been going on the 30-minute mark. Well, we passed the 30-minute mark. All right. See that? Once again, the wire popped that way. It just, somebody was saying there, bust them in the eye. You really should have like goggles on. I would recommend that, but I never really use goggles because when I pop it out of my direction, right? When you snipping the wire, you want to snip it away from you. You don't want to be like up in it close and then you pop yourself in the eye, right? Man, that'll be a disaster. Don't do that. So once I find it, boom, snip it. Okay, after you snip it, snug it. Snip it, snug it. You know, just press your pliers up against the wire. Just make sure that it's snug and it's secure and it's not gonna hurt anybody as they're putting on the ring. Once again, completing my third loop for this side. See, back to this using a 16 gauge, wrapping it around. Once again on both sides, right? So 3, 3. Okay, let me show y'all how this looks so y'all can see what I mean. 3, 3, 3, 3 on each side. Once it's 3 times on each side, you good. A 3/4 quarter is not easily broken. All right. I'm gonna do probably some type of spiral design on this. I'm trying to figure out where and how I'm gonna do it. It's an optional thing. Like one design that I started doing was I was putting people's initials at the top of the ring. So you could put like an O, you know, for Oscar, let's say. Put an O at the top. No, that's just a rough draft because, you know, of course it'll tighten it up more, you know. O-E-O. You know, giving a rough example. But yeah. Where's the other two? Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm letting the universe speak. Spirit speak to me. Alright, let me finish up this quick. So I'm not going to go into all that right now. I'm just going to simplify it and keep it as is. I was going to add like a little initial at the top, but no, let's just chill. Let's wrap this up. All right, boom. That's done. Some I do loop it around 4 times. There's no rule to this. I do break my rules sometimes, but in general, 3 times is enough. Or you could go up to 6 after you finish 3. All right. I always contemplate what I really want to do with this before I cut the wire off. This is the last piece of wire. Because once it's cut, that's it. Alright, it's good. It's past my inspection. Now I'm just going to cut this wire. And the ring will be complete. Wow, voila. I'll snug it, cut it more snug. Sometimes it's good to keep your copper cuts, those little small pieces, because you could use them if you make orgone pyramids, things like that, orgone pieces. Boom, the ring is done. Voila. All right, so that's how you make a crystal ring, adjustable crystal ring. This is amethyst, and this one I sell my rings for $35 in general. Sometimes I go up to $40. Like if I add more work into this, I'll sell it up to $40. All right. This is for a client. I got a client who ordered a lot of rings, so I'm fulfilling the order, and you got to see it in one of them. All right. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Namaste. The God in me honors the God in you. One. Peace.